All right, and here we go with part two of day 10. It's a doozy, living my best life. My name's Joe. I got a lot of names, they all have Joe in it. Welcome and thank you if you are indeed watching. If not, thank you anyway for just being alive wherever you are. And I hope you are having an opportunity to live your best life as well. Um, I'm going to get right into it. And, I like this whole challenge I have to freestyle, which I've never felt like I'm any kind of good at. I love to write, but freestyle is a whole nother thing. But yo, I don't need to talk about it, I just need to do it. That's the only way to get to it. Just move. Yo, I'm not that smooth, but sometimes I am. Yo, I'm not like jam, I'm like butter. Yeah, and I'm another person that just likes to give thanks. That's right, because I don't stank. I took a bath and I washed it, all of it. I don't know what that means, what I'm saying, man. I'm just playing. I do. I know exactly what it means to me. How about you? Yo, are you smelling good? I don't know, but this dog might not. Yeah, he's a lot of love in a furry little man. Yeah, he gets my hand. I like to pet him. I'm grateful for Eddie Bearman giving hugs and this other cat that gives me lots of love. He's sitting right back there. That's handsome James. And he's never to blame until he is if he does something that he shouldn't do. So I'm kind of cool in my own mind. I ain't got many rhymes, but I'll find one or two here or there, and I'll be square when I'm not that cool. I guess I don't know. Whatever, man. Like I said, I ain't got that much flow, but I'm trying, and I'll never be lying to say that I'm applying myself. Yeah, come on. What else? 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 I'm grateful for patience. It's kind of sacred. It's the kind of things that makes it better when you wait. That's right. And I feel kind of great because I got this OP1 field in a box and I'm about to bring it out nonstop. I'll be bringing it to you. That's how we do. That's how we do. That's how we do. All right, whatever, I'm trying. So, anyway, I got a lot in store for today, and we will just get right into it. This is part two, so I've done a lot of the things on my checklist, so I'm not really going to worry about that. What I'm going to do is go ahead and move over to my table. I have some goals for part two, which are to create a short form video that is to give gratitude to Polyform Products, Sculpey. Sculpey is a polymer clay, and I'm going to save some of the things I'm going to say for once I start. Like I want to basically like make a clip of this. So let's see. Let's see. I'm trying to set up my desktop as I do this, as far as like being able to get a better camera view. And then I'll start talking about what you see here. So let's see. See if I can get this a close up using this. Let's see here. We could do it like that probably. I mean, that might work. I might even flip it. Let's see here. I'm learning all the time, and I do it live, right? Like just on stream. I'm just gonna do things and you know, figure it out as I go. That's just sort of the way. That way, I don't wait until everything's perfect or whatever to be able to do something. So here, let's see here. All right, so now you can see on this table in front of me, I have some clay. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and like start. I'll try to be more succinct in this, but again, if I don't do this right and I make mistakes, it's fine. Um, I feel very much that one, this is so important to me that I'll just do it again, and it's all going to be okay, right? Like I'll get the what I need for sending my gratitude to Polyform Products, um, but and it's more than that. Like not only am I hoping to give gratitude for them, but you'll hear all this. I won't talk about it. I'll just do it, and perhaps even this will be what I edit so that I get a better video later. So here, let me line a couple things up here. All right. All right. Test run, test run. Here we go. My name's Joe. I got a lot of names. They all have Joe in it, and I am super, super grateful um, for Polyform Products, Sculpey specifically. Sculpey makes a polymer clay that I've been using since 2008 when I first created Hope figures. Now, they weren't called that back then, but essentially, I was teaching breaking as an artist in education. Breaking, otherwise known as breakdance. Please don't use that word. Breaking is what it's called. It's much more socially acceptable. So please honor the culture by naming it as such. So in breaking, essentially what I was doing back then, I would any toy I could find, I would try to make it either do a spin or a freeze. So basically a pose. And nothing really worked the way I wanted, so I decided to try to make it. And someone gave me Sculpey for Christmas in 2007, and the first one of these I ever made worked better than anything I had ever tried. So, I mean, it was just an aha moment, and I've been dedicated and, if not obsessed with it ever since. And the clay is just amazing. And I've tried all sorts of polymer clays. Sculpey is by far my favorite for all sorts of reasons, but it's just a great product. And so I live in Asheville, North Carolina. Hurricane Helene came through, subsequent flood absolutely devastated Western North Carolina. My job was underwater, and so I am currently unemployed. All these things kind of led to my best option being to pursue my dreams with vigor. And a lot of my dreams are around, well, it's all the arts, right? And I'm a big advocate for arts and education, and I will be on stream creating curriculum and so much more. But it's not about me; it's about this clay and what we can do with it. So I reached out pretty quickly in after the impacts of the hurricane and flood, and because a lot of people were in need, and I was thinking, well, how can I help? What's the best thing that I can do? And certainly that had to do with working with children. And I have a lesson plan called the Art of Play. Just so you know, that's Eddie Bear McGivern hugs below me there. And so in the Art of Play, like, so I made up this figurine. It's basically uh, once you bake, so this is soft now, but you bake it in the oven. My typical, because of the width and everything and following instructions, I'm at 275 degrees Fahrenheit, and I bake them for about 12 minutes. And it will vary depending on some other factors, but typically it's about 12 minutes. And in 2015, I started to 3D print them as well. And now I can even scan them myself. I have a scanner. So we do scanning, 3D printing, all sorts of things. And one of the biggest challenges in arts education is like not just arts, in education in general. One of the biggest challenges facing teachers, students, is like this um, apathy or lack of being motivated, right? Wanting to do something, being curious, being excited about something and pursuing it. Because if you're not excited about something, then you're probably not going to do it. So basically, uh, that's the kind of programming I'm going to do, right? Is going to be around sort of merging craft and technology, leveraging. My cat wants out. Sorry. Like leveraging what's available and being able to sort of stoke this curiosity. And I see art as a series of problem solving. So its benefits to and relationship to education are grossly overlooked. And so, I want to help with that. I want to help inspire and bring some joy into people's lives. So what I do is I basically, these are a little larger than normally make, but I make a circle. A circle becomes essentially a star, right? That star is a head, two arms, two arms, two legs, okay? And so I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit with this one and take it a little further. But the deal is I'm making little people that are functional. So I'll do at some point a more detailed look where I'm using different camera angles and like really curate how this goes. But But I just have these techniques where I'm working with my hands, which means one, I need to keep my hands clean. Using a certain amount of clay has been very helpful to the way I do things. But so I go from like two arms, two legs. Now I'll add feet. I'll add the hands in, and and I even take the head and basically push it forward. So now I know what the front and the back is. And from that point, I'll just kind of refine it. And again, I'll do this more in detail and in depth in another video. But for now, I just kind of want you to see a little bit of the process of what I'm doing while I talk about it. So, in the art of play, the what I do is I take some of my 3D printed Hope figures, which are much more durable and children can play with them, and I don't have to worry about whether or not they break. I mean, I have engineered the design so that it is less likely to break when 3D printed, just through some different parameters that I plug in. But essentially, kids get to play with them. They get to check them out, see them. I try not to say too much about it because open-ended exploration is everything. And like these Hope figures are amorphic figures that they don't have detail, but they do have functionality. And by exploring, so I say the art of play, because you don't know until you play. You can discover things, and there, if I were to say, "Hey, you do it like this," then I'm going to miss out on what a child might come up with I never thought of, and that does happen. It can happen. So just to give you a little closer view, I get the figure basically in this here. Let me turn it around. I think it might be better if I do it that way because I forgot I inverted the camera. So yeah, the it's real basic, right? Now most of them that I make, I'll pull one down off the shelf. I'll find one of my older ones. One sec. All right, so this is one of my original spinners, and I even hand painted it, which is not something I typically do. There's even like little marks across the hands, but like to show fingers. I had tried like a little detail with this. That's one of the ways it's an old one, but it is. Well, I'm having trouble right now, but here. There we go. So it's a spinner, and this one's made of clay, and it has broken a few times, but I care so much about it that I glue it back together. And I have scanned this one so that I can print it, and but that's one of the basics to this is just it's just a little figurine, right? Now I like them when they are here. I'll grab another. So I really enjoy mixing the colors of the clay. So like this one is a good representation of like what I do, kind of how they look. Again, my camera, I'm not doing the best job here. Sorry about that. Do do do. There we go. All right. So here we have now this one was based in emotion is what I like to say. So I did a series that I was like, oh, I want them to be based in emotion. And it can balance different ways. So there it's on its hands. Here it's like head and feet. Here it's on its knees, and it can balance on its side. It's versatile, right? But what's interesting to me, and I'll see if I can't do a better job in front of this camera. One sec. And again, I'll do a better, like higher quality video. I just wanted to get a test run of this out here, and just showcase. Now, part of why I bring this up about the multicolor is because that's part of this art of play. Is kids get to pick up to 3 colors. They get a certain amount. It's a small amount because when we bake it in the oven, everything needs to fit that kids have made, right? So there will be coming up a real full on here's the lesson, and I'll just go through it rather than just talking about it. But yeah, so for me the multiple colors helped for conditioning the clay, and I just like the way it looks too. So that would, but when I like use I typically will twist the arms into like I keep it straight to get an angle or something, but I'll kind of twist into it while I pinch and flatten and sort of try to get a better overall even equal distribution of the clay. And now I have tools also that I use to work with clay. I don't only use my hands, um, but uh, yeah, I mean, just the multiple colors really helps me in this part of the process where it's like seeing just how much clay is in the arm, the shoulder, whatever. It just, for whatever reason, it helps my eye. And I just like the way it looks. So, in the art of play, kids get to like kind of play with the figurines, see what I do. We don't play with them yet. I just do a kind of brief introduction. Here's what I do, and then you get to pick clay. We do a 10-minute working with clay session, and at first you're instructed to just get a feel for the clay. How does it feel in your hand when you squish it? If you know, you're given instruction too that if you're using multiple colors, these colors can mix and get muddy real quick. So, you know, care needs to be given to that process, and it's also okay. Whatever happens, happens. But here's the main thing: like you have total freedom, create whatever you want out of the clay. We're gonna have 10 minutes to do it, but at the end, and I say this up front, we're gonna take that last minute to put intention into the clay. So I'll give you a 2-minute warning, and then at the last minute, we're really gonna think about that final touch and want you to think about why you made what you made. What do you want to remember about today, this experience, or what do you like? Are you, if you plan to give it to someone, what kind of sentiment do you want to put into it? So it's about creating like a token, a reminder of something special. So hope figures. Here's a larger 3D printed version of one of my favorites, and essentially, again, they can either spin, balance in multiple ways, or both. So this one can do head spins, and it can spin on its backside. Um, but you know, it can sit, stand on its feet, stand on its head, and different things. And this is actually too a different type of material that's 3D printed. It's called TPU, so this is flexible, right? So when I give everything away, or I try to. I mean, you know, that's my goal. So on stream and my ask for help and wanting support, it's because I want to give everything away, and that's going to take support from others. So that being said, I've given many, 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 many of these away, and I tell people regarding hope figures that what you believe to be good and possible, so do they, and that just means a lot to me. What you believe to be good and possible, so do they. There's this encouragement to have your beliefs affirmed, right? Or instead of like a worry doll or a worry stone, this is a hope figure, right? So they're wearable. There's so many things I could say about them. I'm not trying to sell you though. I'm trying to give to you some hope, some inspiration, and some kindness, even love. And so yeah, that's I cannot thank Polyform Products enough, so I will thank them always, not only for their gift during this great time of need that I will be sure to utilize well, but also for the product itself. It is superior, it is incredible, and it is safe. So thank you so very much. I really appreciate it. All right. So I think that'll conclude this portion. And now I get to move into something else I'm real excited about. And you know, because I got the camera out, let me just test something. Let me just see something here. No, not that. I want this. All right. So listen, I love, love, love the Etch a Sketch. Now I don't know if you could see what I'm doing on it, and as I can tell by looking at my monitor here, it doesn't look like you can. So let me see if I can't. Well, I'm not going to zoom in now, but I will. What I will do is put out another one. All right, so this is the first. I'll see if I can diffuse that light too. Maybe I can. Let's just do some tests here. That didn't do it. Yeah, so that's one of the interesting things about trying to capture the etch a sketch on stream is going to be the lighting. So I'm going to stand up and hold this under the camera to see if I can show it to you this way. But this is the only etch a sketch I've ever made permanent. I've definitely done others that I was thought were far superior to this one, but it will showcase sort of that I can draw things on it. Um, and I'll say that whatever, like if you want to draw on an etch a sketch, right? If you want to get good at it, I recommend a few things. So one, learn how to draw a circle, a diagonal line, and then be able to go back over that, right? Be able to retrace your steps. The other thing is very important, and probably the most important in my mind, unless you want to be very meticulous and methodical, is to forgive your mistakes, right? Not need it to be perfect. It is an etch a sketch, and so if you treat it as such, I mean, I live an etch a sketch life. I feel like I've got life lessons from this. Shake it up, start again, non-attachment, impermanence, right? The beauty of art and the impermanence of art. So, I'm a big fan. So I'm gonna pick it up. I'm testing this also for my own purposes, just see if I can do this and show you. Yeah, so not a great view, but whatever. Testing it out. So, all right. Hey, now it's about that time. I've been patient, really patient today, um, amongst a lot of things going on too. And I want to be mindful of the hardships that others are experiencing, other people that I even care deeply for and love. And so, I have a lot of excitement, but also, again, just this mindfulness. I mean, my best life is not my best life if I'm not also considering that there are still so many challenges and so much hardship. So, with that said, I was given a gift that allowed me to purchase the largest item on my wish list for this stream and the work that I want to do. Now, it's not a large item, it's quite small, but it is very powerful. Where did I put it? Ah, ha ha ha, here it is. All right. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the OP1 Field. This is a true unboxing. Uh, I have not opened this. I opened the cardboard, but I otherwise have not opened it. I want to see what's in the box here. I'm also going to say a big thank you to Guitar Center. There's a Guitar Center locally here in Asheville. Look, I like this bag. See, you could just boom, just pull that open like that. It's good packaging. Okay. Now I noticed that there were these straps also. I did not. Oh man, already, already I am like so thrilled about this. Okay, and I'm gonna switch my camera a little bit before I go any further because I want to make sure um, I do this justice. All right. Do do do. Okay, let's see here. I mean, this is going to be good enough. All right. So I noticed that there were these straps when I first opened the box, and I partially didn't go any further than opening the cardboard. I mean, I was like, okay, I'm using a knife. I don't think you're supposed to use a knife on camera. Um, but yeah, but I did see through the plastic that there were these straps. Now, what I got really excited about though is because this thing cost 2 grand, right? And with Guitar Center, I was able to get a protection plan as well, and I um, even called first just to ask a few questions. And instead of ordering it online, a person helped me. They were very helpful. I believe his name was Dan. Um, Very helpful. And I get down there. Well, because I'm like, hey, you guys work on commission? He's like, yes. So boom. I'm like, I'm coming. I'm making this purchase. And so um, He was super helpful. Now, looking at it, having it in my hands, it's an expensive piece of equipment. I don't want, I need, how do I carry it around? How do I take it places? It is very portable. Oh my goodness! I like what's inside here. I'm so excited. I need a manicure. Anyway, so these straps and this packaging, it's very smart. Like I said, that bag, I didn't have to use a knife to open the bag. I'm a big fan of like no waste, and that bag is its own little protection of this outer case too. So I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna use them, um, and let's see. It feels like elastic. I don't. Yeah, it's just elastic. So I'm just gonna pull these off of there. Um, And for anyone who balks at the price of the OP1 field, that happened with the OP1 as well, which I also have. Um, so I'm going to use these in conjunction with each other. OP1 is mono, OP1 field is stereo, and but people always kind of complain about the price, and I got to tell you, I have never regretted my purchase of an OP1. I actually have two of those. One of them was bought used and is no longer working, but an amazing product, and it's like the workflow alone, like there's no undo button, so it's a very well designed, incredibly powerful product. Drum machines, sampler, sequencer, synth engine, effects processor, so much more. And because of its unique workflow, it's like it's its own instrument, and it's just for me fun. A person who you don't know till you play, right? You play around, you figure things out, and I like that because of that. I'm going to discover things that I wouldn't have otherwise. And without further ado, again, here, what's this right here? Little felt right there. I think that might be speakers. Well, this looks more like the speaker. This is probably just to help it on the desktop. I'm hoping that's true. This is the bottom. And here we are, the OP1 field. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. I mean, I can't tell you, like, I can and will. It feels really special to have this in my hands. Um, I'm gonna do some pretty amazing stuff with it. It looks like there's more in the package, so I'm gonna move this to the side for a moment, so that carefully, so that I can look further into what's inside the package. Because I see some things here, probably the charging cable. Um, let's see. This looks, I mean, very smart packaging. Okay, so boom. Yep, there's my little cable. Now I'm probably going to have to boot this up, so we'll see here shortly. And what do we have here? This is the portable synthesizer user guide, right? Um, my eyes are never going to be able to read such small text in and of itself, but I'm sure this is also available online. And I have readers nearby, so here. As a matter of fact, why don't I just try it out? Take a quick look. Hey, and look at that, I can read it. All right, let's see. Just take a. I'm gonna treat it like I'll just go anywhere and see what it says. Synth sampler. So yeah, it's giving you a chromatic stereo sampler with region loop functionality. Playing the keyboard will play the sound from the start point, loop a section if enabled, and play it through to the end upon release. And yeah, this thing is so amazing. So I'm gonna be very careful with all of this. This is now my most prized possession in terms of the equipment, the musical equipment that I own. Absolutely, without question, my most prized possession. So thank you again to that most generous donation that allowed this to happen. And yeah, I'm going to get into it a little bit. So I'm just going to set these things aside for now. I'll get organized later. I'm not going to worry about it at the moment. So long as I keep it with my etch a sketches, it is safe. All right. So OP1 field, just so that you see it. This is the OP1. Again, biggest difference that I know of currently is that the OP1 is mono, the OP1 field is stereo. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. Now this is a little different too. I can feel like there's a knob here, or I guess a button. Let me see. So it's a switch to flip it on, right? Um, not really. My first impression of that is not my ideal because I don't want anything to break. And if there's something poking out, I just worry about that. But I do also have, for the record, the OPZ, and that does have also a little external um, switch here that it protrudes out. It's still intact. I take care of these things because they're amazing, so it should be fine. Oh my goodness, and it's on. Okay, I need to plug this thing in though. Let me see. Give me a sec here, and I will. Let's get some sounds out of it. Do do do. And I know I should be looking at the user manual probably, but I mean, I'm pretty familiar with this thing, so I'm not going to sweat that too much. I'm going to unhook here. I got to do a few things. Boom, boom, boom. All right. All right. So we should now be able to have some sound. Now, I haven't touched any of the buttons yet. And as I go, like, I will get more into some of the details and whatnot. I'm not trying to make a great video right now. Um, as far as the production quality and you being able to see it in any kind of tutorial, this is just a true like excitement of unboxing for me. So apologies if it's you're trying to watch it for any other reason, and we're hoping for more. So I'm going to turn it up a little, and not having anything. I haven't touched any of my buttons. I just want to see if hitting the key does anything. Ooh, look at that. The keys feel really good. All right. I mean, super cool. So, um, I mean, probably my first thing I want to check out. So, let's see. I do want to see if I can give you a better view. So let me, da, da, da. I'm going to try and make sure I can zoom into it a little bit here. And you still may not be able to see very well, but, we're just going to dive in. And, matter of fact, here, I'm going to do another thing. Doo-doo-dee. So that's a little better. And I'm going to go ahead also and plug the OP1 into the OPZ. And let's see here. I can go ahead and unplug this. Boom. All right, that ought to do it. And I love too that, I mean, it's like with the OP1 field, it's not as though they like if you're familiar with the OP1, you're going to be able to get right into the field. Um, so, oops, wait, I need to turn the OP1 on. Should be powered. Yep, we're good. And so this way, just in case, I might give you some like other workflow stuff. I don't know. I mean, I'm probably gonna like at some point cut this short, take a break, because I mean my enthusiasm right now, I'm so excited. Like I'm so crazy excited. And so I'll probably like take a break, kind of, and then come back and like really, really play around. Um, but again, just to say, um, if you're familiar with the OP1, then you're going to be able to get right into the OP1 field, no problem. It looks, color coding is the same. All the same functionalities are there. Your BPM, your talk button, which tells you basically what you're doing currently, what buttons are pressed, what feature you're on. So there are different. This button is for an instrument. This is for drums. Ooh, that looks different already. So let's show a difference a little bit. So this is tape mode, and both are on tape mode currently. They do look a little different. Let's go over to the instrument. That's going to depend. The screen's going to depend on what instrument you have selected. The drums. So you can see here, like a sound wave. This one, sound wave, also a little more in depth. I mean, this screen is obviously better quality. Like there's a little more ability within it, I'm sure. And then let's see. So we had tape mode on both. Let's go to the mixer on both. So they look slightly different. A little bit of an aesthetic change, but not a whole lot of difference there. Um, And then within the mixer, so if I hit the number 1, that's the what it's currently on. If I hit 2, that's like your EQ going out, low, mids, and highs, and it tells you, how clean versus distorted the sound is. And then number 3 is a filter. Right now, both are off. I've got the cow on the OP1, and then on this one, what current effect? It looks like the punch is what's on. Yep, it is the punch. And that's where, for my usage, punch was like, you know, it was most useful with like drums and bass to sort of get the levels right. And I'm not classically trained by any means in any way when it comes to music, but I love exploring, and that's part of why, again, like these things, just like there's fun user interfaces and ways to explore. You don't have to know exactly what you're doing. You just have to get in there and do things, play around, and you'll discover infinite things. Like, it's so great. So anyway, so that was number 3. What's on here? I'm gonna turn those effects off of both. And on number 4, it's like your drive. It's sort of output based, I think. And again, this is all in the manuals. I don't need to bog anything down with that. What I'm going to do with this instrument is really explore and play, have fun. So I feel like I have a very different approach than a lot of people. And like Red Beans Recording and Cuckoo and was it David Wang maybe? They have incredible tutorials on the OP1 and just production and things that they've done with these machines, and other machines for that matter. So as I go, I'll be watching other people's, what they do with the OP1 field, I'm sure, seeing some tutorials and whatnot here and there. But mostly I'm just gonna like enjoy playing it. And so my content will largely be just having fun and creating in a way that I hope will be very original, authentic, and offer some new perspective. So I'm going to go back to tape mode, and maybe actually I'll go to the instrument. And no, I do want tape mode because I want to then hear the OP1 through the OP1 field. So I got drums. So I might turn that down a little, and maybe I'll turn this. So this is this is my input control on tape mode, and my volume knob here. So levels are important for me. I'll be kind of figuring that out as far as a workflow thing too. Right, cool. So there'll be a lot of different things that I can do because I have these two operating together. And one would be like to go to my drums. I'm going into the sequencer, and I'm just going to use something that's simple and already done here. Okay, let's go with that one. And I'm just going to mess around. So one thing already, I'm like, okay, there's something with my levels on this one. Maybe it might just be the drum kit. So I'm going to go back here, and then I'm going to go over to the drum kit. And I can hit the talk button. It'll tell me that I'm on the drum kit 1. So I can switch it and hear different ones. I'm going to go ahead and turn it up some too, because I've got these things plugged into the sampler as well. So I've got a loop station over here, and I'm turning it up until I start to get a peak. If the peak is happening on that, that's about where I want to be as far as the levels are concerned. All right. Now, I mean, it does sound different to me as far as these drum sounds compared to what I'm accustomed to, and I'm not sure if there's something like I might just have something selected that I don't intend to have selected. Oh yeah, it's turns. Look at that. There we go. Bing bang. Figured it out. So I had an effect on the sequencer on the OP1. So the drum kit itself did not have an effect on. The tape mode did not have the effect on, but I had it turned on in the sequencer. So, um, you know, I'll just, try to be mindful of that sort of thing so that I'm getting the clear sounds that I expect to have. Um, but yeah, so there's a little bit of drums. Let's switch that drum up. I kind of like that one. And so I'm gonna go back to. I want to look at. It's at 110 beats per minute, right? So I'm gonna go over. I'm gonna set the OP1 field to 110. Also, man, these knobs feel really good. I think also, yep. So there's another functionality that. No, this one has that too, where you can push it in. I never really used that. I'm not sure what the functionality is there, but I do have a user manual I can check out. And so much deep, like it's so deep how much this thing can do. So, but by setting it to 110, and I'm going to go ahead and set an in and an out point for my loop, and I've got 2 bars, right? And you know, I'm not using a clock. I'm not sequencing it. I'm just going to do it. I like to work loosely. And again, because then it's more likely I'll get an unexpected result, something that I didn't intend to have happen that I think is cool. So, so there are different ways I can do this. Now, right now, I've got the drum pattern on hold, but I'm going to turn that off. And then it is that key, right? So all I'm going to do is I'm going to hold down record, and I'm going to hit play, and I'm going to try to do it at the same time as I hit this key. So here we go. 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and then I stopped it, hoping I got a clean loop. Let's see. A little clipped. Not terrible though. So anyway, I'm going to switch over on tape mode on the OP1 field. I switch to the drums, and I don't know. Let's see if it has. So it looks like the same arpeggio, endless, finger, pattern, sketch, and tombola. So it is the same options. Now I will, in case you didn't hear it, I do Etch a Sketch, right? So that it has the Etch a Sketch feature is pretty cool to me. I'm not going to use it for drums right now, but it's a cool thing. Let's just look at it though. Oh wait, oops, effect. I went to effect. What was I doing? Oh yeah, that. Okay, so here we have a sketch. It's a peace sign. Well, might as well listen to it. I think I can just hit a key. How do I do that? Okay, I can move it. I can draw. I want to play it. How do I play it? Sequencer on is what I want. Sequencer on. Sequencer on. Uh-oh. No. Do 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 do. I thought I could just hit a button and that played it. Well, whatever. I like that. All I need to see is that they got a peace sign. So now let's go up here to finger patterns, and there's some stock already in here. I have this set to 110 beats per minute, so I should be able to get some sounds no problem. So I'm gonna go back over to tape mode. I'm on track 2. Track 1 is where I recorded the drums from the OP1, and I'm just gonna see what happens here. And I think I might, yeah, we'll see what happens. Whatever, it doesn't matter. So good, nice 4 on the floor. So matter of fact, I'm gonna stop tape mode, and now I'm just going to check it out. I got an OP1 field. I'm just going to pay attention to it for a minute and go through some of its sounds. So that are just stock and that come with it. So here we are on, and I know you can't see this well, but there's like a couple of little drummers that have basically like monkey faces. My dog below me here, that's Eddie Bear McGivern Hugs. And I've got a song called Orangutan Doodle Dang that basically, it has a line, he's got gorilla eyes and a monkey mouth, orangutan doodle dang, sleeps on a couch. So this is, for me, reminiscent of him. So I'm going to go through some of the patterns using, this should be, let's see, the drums, and we've got, yep, so it is on the first drum selection, and we're going to go with the sequencer. This is finger mode. Nice 4 on the floor, right? Da, da, da. Okay, so, and I'm peaking pretty bad, so let me turn it down. Nice. This machine is excellent. So another thing that happens is like you can layer them. So I can play one and then add the other. Right? Okay. So it's pretty cool. I mean, you can even like say, so that's one way I like is like if you just, these are stock drum beats, but just by switching from one to the other before the bar is out, right, then now you have a new pattern. Right? So you can just mess around and come up with things. And if you're playing around, but you're recording it, you might capture it and be able to have a usable loop that is now very creative and your own, especially if you are curating the sounds that you're using, your own drum kit, or using the effects and you're tweaking the sound within that. So there are many, many ways to be authentically creative using even stock instruments within this. So I want to keep hearing some of these. Okay, so now, like, if I turn the sequencer off, I have the ability to check out all the different sounds, and I'm just going to do like the kick and snare, maybe. Okay, cool. And then I'm going to just go through the different sounds. Oh, the richness is like the headphones, right? Like, I mean, these sounds. And usually there is like a second kick drum too, so let me. Gosh, I love it. Ooh. Love it. Love it. Love it already. I love the lo-fi stuff too. And I love this configuration. So basically too, when you so I'm gonna go back to the first. Oops. No, I want to keep the cherry. Yeah. So, but I will show you. Like there are going to be different views of the type of drum kit it is. So if I hit Shift 1, then I can go into a list of, so this is drum box and then drum. So I have a feeling that drum box is going to look like that other I had on there. So let's go ahead and do that. Yep, so you can see it has a different display and way that you interact with changing those sounds. I mean, I don't know that that's an entirely true way to say that, but so this is airplane. Love it. All right. So, but I had it. It was on cherry to start. So let me get cherry back. All right. Let's get cherry back. And it sounds like a vintage kit to me, right? Like kind of your traditional. If I want like some more garage rock or like punk rock or whatever, it's cherry. It's cherry. It's of an era. So anyway, very cool. I'm gonna switch over to the instrument. And I am also a type like this is if I did a factory reset, it's going to come right back to all this, right? So I'm gonna type. I don't care. I will turn knobs and push buttons. Ooh, yeah, yeah. Let's go. Ooh, oh. Okay, so there's some level of like the static. Ooh, oh. Oh, oh, I love this so much already. All right, I'm just going to go through some of these instruments, but I will, before I do that, so I started to hear some of these different sounds. Oh, God, I love that. And as a person who doesn't understand sound waves and sine and what all the things that, like the way you describe what you're hearing and seeing, the way it's displayed, like there are ways that you can. I mean, like the folks at Teenage Engineering do, they understand all of this and it is very thoughtful the way that they put it together. And I'm telling you, like for me, a person like me who's not informed musically, I will become informed because it makes me care so much. Like this thing is amazing. And I want to know what I'm doing. I want to know what it's doing and what language it's speaking in. So I will learn more about these sine waves, what square is, whatever. And so because I can look over and it's like the waveform that shows you different waveforms. And I think I turned it to sub. So let me see if it tells if that switches. No, it doesn't. But I can learn about all this stuff, right? And I will. So just super cool. So, but I can also, so all of these different things that I'm turning these knobs, right? If I hit shift, it should give me, yeah, it's like that one is just kind of more of a refined tuning. So when I let go of shift, it changes really fast. When I hold shift in, it's just, I can tweak it and fine tune it. Let's see what happens with this knob. So that's sort of the, it's like a harmony or multiple, sort of a harmony. Can't tell. That seems to maybe when I hit shift do the same, sort of like more of a fine tune. All right, and then how about this one? So that's a filter of the frequency. I think the other was stereo. It even tells me, so it's color coded on the screen and it tells me what it's doing. If I hit shift on the filter, yeah, again, fine tuning, I think. And then, yeah. So hitting shift with this particular instrument, it's just kind of finer adjustments. On the other, like, I think the drum box is different, though. So let's test that theory, but when I get to one that's on a drum box. So I'm going to go back to, let's see. So these are all, there's a drum box. So let's try that same idea. Oh, wait, no, I was on the, I was on the instrument. So let's go in and see what instrument this is. First of all, this is Welcome. It's called Welcome, this first instrument, and it is on bank 1. Let's go over to bank 2. And I don't need to see it right now. I don't even care what it's called. I just want to hear them. So bank 2. These keys, oh, they feel so good. Okay, good, good, good. 2. But they're for each, just like with the drum machine, right? They have different ways that these buttons or knobs will interact. depending upon what you see in the display. So it's like the type of instrument that it is. Okay. Okay. Cool. 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 All right. So I was just getting some feedback from my brother Pete. Thanks, Pete. I appreciate the text. I'm doing something cool right now, so I'm not answering you back. All right. Cool. Very fun. Yeah, and it does seem that it's probably going to be the shift is going to be just a finer adjustment, typically, generally speaking. Which one am I on? That was number 4. Let's go to 5. Okay. This on OP1, whatever the instrument type is, let's find out. Let's find out. All right. So this is number 6. Okay, this is in Dr. Wave, and I believe that was the same subcategory on the OP1 was like Dr. Wave. So the way it displays and the way the adjustments work are so fun to me. So yeah. Let's keep it. Oh, before I touch anything, come on. So, like, what I love so much is like you can hold one note down and just like turning knobs, like some really amazing like texture and ambience that you can create. It's just beautiful. Chorus. And the display is pretty amazing. I mean, someone who's worked so much with the OP1 and loved it. And I'm no authority on the OP1, but I love it and I've used it a lot. And so the difference in the display alone is pretty stellar. All right, so I'm going to go over to 7. Gotta love a good pad. Oh, and that was for me the first stereo experience of the OP1 field. Beautiful. and I love just experimenting. I mean, like when you have this sort of, you know, hearing it happen, and like um, just this willingness to play, and having the ability to loop things and whatnot. Like, um, I can, I don't have to be that skilled, and understanding all of music theory and all of these things. I can just play and experiment, and then I get that clip, right? I can sample and loop in. If I keep things in time, right, which you can stretch that too, but if you want to keep the integrity of, like, what you originally heard and created, then having everything in the same time the signature is going to help. And yeah, I mean, and then just kind of managing those levels, um, because I like to perform DAWless, so meaning I don't want to, just push play on my computer of things that I've already created. I want to get good enough to play live and experiment and do something new and different every time, have a unique experience. So, um, yeah, it's just perfect for what I need and want, and beautifully designed. The integrity of it, as far as the design is concerned, is top notch, and this feels fantastic. Um, are they about the same weight? I mean, I think the field's a little heavier, maybe, but they're close. Internal battery that's it lasts a long time. Just tremendous depth to these things. So let's go back and just see. So at 100, here's one way. So like it's at 110 beats per minute. Um, I can do like if I wanted to add more drum sounds, but I don't want to use the finger pattern. I just want to see if I can do something in time, something unique and different. Then I'll go over to like arpeggio. Arpeggio will let me. It's right now. It's on an eighth note. I'll spare you what it's on. Okay, so if I want, I'm gonna turn it down to a quarter. It's kind of loud. I could go back over to tape mode to turn down the input. Okay. Now I also am going to go up to, you know what? I'm going to go up to 16th note and try that, and maybe it's a cymbal. Yeah, let's do that. So back to tape mode, and I'm going to record this in, and I'm just going to go random with it. And not care about much of anything. I can always erase it. There's not an undo in your traditional sense, but I mean, like you can't do over exactly, right? I'll spare you whatever. So again, I like just playing around, being random with it. It's on a 16th note. Let's keep it there, but let's find another sound to use. Maybe even a different drum kit. I'm going to take it to, which drum kit am I on? I'm on 8. So let's go to 5 for whatever reason. Let's try that. So right now I'm finger drumming whatever. So not perfect. I can't quantize that now, right? It's on tape mode. So I can't, if it's off, I can't fix it. I can get rid of it. I can redo it. But I'm just leaving it there. And now I'm going to go over to the mixer. So it's turned all the way up too. So now I'm just going to turn the opus 1 field up. There we go, to right where I'm about to peak. Okay. And I'm going to turn on an effect. So here's the punch. And a lot of times with the punch is like subtle. There we go. And so now I turn up like that input, and basically, right, it's bringing it down, like so that it's not. If I were peaking, right, but I was at the level I wanted it for all other purposes, but I'm seeing it clip in my sampler, I can just turn that punch on and come over and get it right so that it's not like gonna be pushing into the peak. All right, so anyway, but I want to try a different effect here. And do I see any new ones? I do. Terminal is new. Mother is new. I'm gonna go to Mother. Wow. Cool. That's the gate. Gosh, these graphics are so cool. I'll do a video where you can see them better at some point. And turn it off so you can hear the difference. Turn it back on in a sec. Oh, wait, did I turn it off? There's off. There's off, sorry. All right, so there's off. Back on. And I'm pretty sure you can set, yeah, you can change like, oh, wait a second, does that mean I can have more than one? Okay, so basically you can set like different you change your levels, and by pushing either 7 or 8 while that's selected, while your effect is selected, you can set different levels of that effect. And if you push them both in at the same time, it basically works as a third, but it is an unpredictable third. Probably someone at Teen Engineering, it would not be unpredictable. So I'm going to go back over to, actually I want to turn that off. Okay, and back into tape mode, there's another thing that happens here. So you have some different buttons. I can take it in reverse, bring it to a stop, and then this is like scrub back and forth, right? I can't remember what 7, no, nothing, okay. So, one thing I discovered too is like I'm kind of looking for, is there a modern way to approach the idea of scratching with the OP1 field? Now there's Steezo, I believe it's Steezo, has, and I'll do a react video to Steezo, and I'm gonna check out actually soon, is there like a Steezo review of the field? I want to know what he's doing with this, because I mean he was performing with like 5 OP1s at a time, and it was so cool. His approach was so cool and unique and different, and like if there were anybody that I'm emulating in the way that I approach this, it would be Steezo. Even though I'm not like super versed in his approach, probably the most similar to the way that I use it. And by no means do I mean to compare myself like I'm a Steezo, because Steezo is amazing. All right, so but anyway, one thing I thought about or realized with that is like, so this where you can just like make it go, so it's in 110 time signature, right? Now I've got a loop set within 110, so it doesn't really matter if now I change that tempo, which I'm going to do now, and I'll let you hear that again at 110, okay? But now if I turn the tempo up, and I'm going to turn it up a lot, let's go to, it was 110, so let's go 220. Now, as you can hear, didn't change my tape, it didn't change what I have recorded, but it will change how fast, see? So that's cool. Now what it doesn't do is, how did that happen? That was cool. Like it stayed in reverse. didn't do it. Okay, so anyway, there's cool stuff, right? Like real cool stuff and unique ways that you can approach this. And you just have to be willing to explore. So one of the things that I say is like, again, like you don't know till you play. So that's a thing for me. Play around. Um, I forgot what the other thing was, but uh, that's what I do though. And oh yeah, I remember now. So like in my view, it seems to make sense that like if you want to be a musician or you're curious as to whether or not you might just be a musician, right? Um, how like are you willing to make noise? Can you listen to noise? Can you hear music in noise? And that's a part of how I think like a musician's going to have that quality because you pick up a new instrument, you're not going to be good at it right away. And I mean, some people surely it's happened, right? That there are these savants and people who just can do things immediately, right? I mean, they're genius, musical genius kind of people, and that does exist. But I mean, for most of us, that's not the case. So it's like, how much can you manage noise and hear music in noise? So I also like Sun Ra a lot. Sun Ra used to say like, he was playing synths in the '60s, and I think that's at the end of the '70s, into the '70s as well. But Sun Ra is amazing, and I never am like I'm not an authority on any subject, but he had this whole thing about like talking to the aliens, and I love this idea of like universal music is the universal language, right? You see this explored in sci-fi in various ways. I mean, what was that? Encounters of the Third Kind, right? Close Encounters of the Third Kind, that using musical notes to communicate with an alien species. I have a, I don't know. Anyway, so basically, but I love this idea that this is the universal language. We're talking about vibration, right? And so if you can hear music in noise, if you can hear music in a ringing in the ear or the sound of crickets, whatever it might be, these different sound waves that are foreign to us, that are not necessarily palatable to our ear, if you can start to make them palatable, find ways to incorporate a droning background sound or some ambient sound that isn't necessarily beautiful, but find harmonies that are, right? There's just something very magical in that to me. So that's a part of like how I'll explore this as well. Um, and I just am so excited and so very grateful. I am so very grateful to have this on this workstation, and I will be putting it to use on a regular basis. I love, love, love that this is in my hands. And so thank you so much. You know who you are. Thank you. I can't thank you enough, so I'll thank you always. And on that note, I'm gonna fade out. I'm gonna spend some time with my pets. I'm living my best life. My name is Joe. I got a lot of names. They all have Joe in it, and we're trying to do this. We're not trying nothing. We're just doing it day in and day out, every day. And yeah, I love being dependable on that. So again, thanks everybody, or anybody, or no one, whoever's under the sun. Let's go.